How could a loving God send good people to hell? Christians learn from the Bible how to live a good life. But what about all those other people who live exemplary lives and do so much good in the world without the Bible? Will God forever turn his back on them and really cast them into a hell of eternal suffering? 1 John 4 verse 8 teaches us God is love. How then could it be that such a loving God would exclude some of these good people from heaven? And what if the real answer to that question is something most Christians get wrong? These are the questions we're going to think about today. Hi, I'm Nicholas, thinking about God. What is your definition of a good person? Well, good people are kind, joyful, they do good to others, they love animals and care for plants and flowers, they recycle and care for the planet, and some of them are agnostics. Most of us instinctively believe that being a good person should count for something. If someone is kind, honest, and compassionate, surely that matters to God. But here's the problem. Who said that going to heaven or hell was ever about being good enough at all? In this talk, I'm going to prove to you why this matters. A young girl had these questions. Following the example of our Lord Jesus, who told parables, I told the girl a little story. There was a girl who went to school and did her homework every day. She paid close attention in class. The years passed. When she finished school, she managed to find a good job. She went to the office every day and faithfully did her work. For working hard, she got paid every month. She was able to start buying nice things for herself. She could buy new clothes. She was able to rent her own apartment. As time went by, she saved enough so she could buy a refrigerator, a radio, maybe an air fryer, and some other household appliances. After working for a few more years, she was able to afford her own little car. Finally, she saved enough to take a little vacation. Because they were so proud of her, her grandparents upgraded her humble holiday plans so she could go to a luxurious holiday resort. She was very excited. During that vacation, something happened that changed everything. She became good friends with another vacationer. They laughed and talked, swam in the ocean, went for long walks on the beach, and enjoyed all kinds of fun things together. When their vacation was nearing the end, they couldn't bear to part ways. So they decided to get married right there, right then. After the wedding, she told her new husband about her little flat. He saw where this was going, so he took out his phone and showed her pictures of his house. She was a little shocked. She hadn't realized she just got married to one of the wealthiest people on the entire planet. She would not have to go back to working in her boss's office. Yeah, we'll get you your own company, her new husband said. And remember to send your measurements to the designers so they can get your new clothes ready. They decided to go by her flat one last time. Arriving there, she saw her little car. It didn't even have a scratch on it. There was truly nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't good enough to park among the high-quality luxury cars where she was going. So she stepped inside the flat. But what would she want to pack? What would she take with her? Some of her clothes are still new. Some dresses and sweaters were hardly ever worn. They don't even have a single spot or stain on them. Yet, she can't take them with her, for she bought them at the low-cost shop next to the supermarket. The cheaper fabrics are just not the right quality to wear with real silk and the high quality fabrics of her new designer clothes. They just wouldn't fit in. Her cheap furniture made of pressed wood simply couldn't stand next to teak and exotic hardwood without ruining the atmosphere of the luxury home. There was nothing wrong with her things, they just were not of high enough quality to fit in with her new lifestyle. She honestly had to realize that none of her possessions were good enough for a place that was so much better that it was in a class completely of its own. When she turned and walked away, she didn't take anything with her. Except, except one thing. Her oldest and ugliest possession. Her only possession that had stains that couldn't be removed, even after washing, and that the neighbor's dog had chewed on years ago, so her mom had to stitch it up. It even has a burn from her accidentally putting it on the hot stove plate when she was just 4 years old. When she bought new clothes, new furniture, and new household items, she just couldn't ever bring herself to throw it away. When her new husband saw her bringing it along, he called out, why didn't you just tell me you were coming back here for a teddy bear? Listen, let's have a brand new teddy bear made specially for you. Big, snow white, with eyes of real blue sapphires. And a cuddly brown one, with eyes of green emeralds. But she cried, no, my car, my clothes, my jewelry, my appliances could all be upgraded to alternatives of superior quality, but this ugly old teddy bear could never be replaced. Not even with the most expensive one a designer could dream up. No stuffed animal could ever take the place of that ugly teddy bear. It had been her companion since she was 3 years old. She used to hold onto it tightly whenever she was afraid of the dark. Whenever thunder and lightning scared her, that little teddy bear comforted her with its soft little body when she cried herself to sleep as a young child. That very same bear drank pretend tea from her pretend cups and shared in her childhood dreams. Her ugly old teddy bear holds a special place in her heart. With a worn-out little teddy bear, she had more than just history and memories of good times and sad times and scary times together. With that teddy bear, she had a relationship. Now, that's the key word here. Relationship. The little old teddy bear could never be good enough to take along to the mansion. The only reason she returned to fetch him was because of relationship. But then again, none of her other possessions could ever be good enough either. Even in a brand new state, in spotless condition, they all fit a living standard way below the far superior standard of the mansion. After hearing about his bride's special relationship with her old and ugly teddy bear, her new husband said, "Little teddy bear, you're coming with us. Thank you for being there right by the side of the love of my life through all these years. You will find a place of honor in my house." With that, he tucked it under his coat, and they left. They left all her other possessions behind, where eventually mold and dust and rust would deteriorate them to a heap of trash. But they never looked back. So what does this story actually mean? When Jesus comes, it will also not be to take with him those who are good enough, because no one, not you, not me, not anyone, could ever be good enough for the highest heaven, which is far superior to any of us on earth. When Jesus comes, he will take with him those who have a relationship with him, those who eagerly listen to him, love him, and respond when he speaks to their hearts through his word, the Bible. The other person, the person who lives a good life but does not seek God and does not eagerly listen to his message, is like a beautiful tree that bears green leaves, orange fruit, and yellow flowers. If that tree keeps refusing to acknowledge that its beautiful leaves, its sweet fruit, and its lovely flowers are all made possible by the energy of the sun, then one day the sun will stop rising over it, and so darkness will fall upon it. Its flowers will wilt, become blackened and mushy, its leaves will die and fall off, its fruit will not ripen until eventually it will rot and stink and bring forth worms. And then it will be clear that the tree could not have been a good tree without the goodness of the sun that so gracefully shone upon it through all the years. The tree will become what it is without the sun. Nothing but a heap of wood, only good for the fire. And when it is thrown into the fire, no one would turn their heads away in agony, because seeing it burn will be as fitting as staring at the burning of thorny branches in a campfire. The destructive burning of a campfire does not ruin the perfect atmosphere of a heavenly evening. In fact, it is so fitting to see dead, thorny branches burn that it even completes the atmosphere. It is even considered romantic. When we see in the parable Jesus told in Luke 16 that Lazarus in heaven has a view of the rich man's suffering, that view does not ruin Lazarus' heavenly experience at all. Though it is hard for us earthlings to imagine, staring at the rich man's suffering is no less fitting for a saint in heaven than for us to be peacefully staring into a burning campfire. While still on earth, we find it almost impossible to imagine, because we see people suffer down here. We see people in whom there is still a flickering of hope, a spark of life. People in whose brokenness God's goodness is still vaguely reflected. And we want to save them. But once people enter hell, they complete their degeneration. People in hell are at that stage void of any goodness, void of any hope to ever recover, to ever come to the light. While they are still down here, there is still a spark of hope. But in hell, it is all lost, and all that is left is deadness in the fullest meaning of the word. People known as good people down here by the grace of God, but who kept turning their backs on God, will become what a person becomes when God turns his back on you. Completely void of all light and goodness. I thank God for blessing me with the understanding that I am not good enough for heaven. When my time here is done, Jesus will come for me, not because I could ever be good enough. He will take me with him, not for a single other reason than because I have a relationship with him. I'm Nicholas, thinking about God. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Click subscribe for more, or visit my channel on YouTube at Nicholas Thinking About God.